Welcome back, my kind companion. It is good to have you here under the soft cloak of night. As you rest your weary head, imagine stepping into the ancient world, where the seven wonders once stood like dreaming giants against the sky, their stories waiting to be told. Sink deeper into your bed now. Feel your breath slow, let your limbs grow heavy and warm. There is nothing to do but listen, nothing to chase but the quiet. Shall we begin? Tonight, I will share with you the graceful tales of these seven wonders of the ancient world, one fascinating piece at a time. It is perfectly fine if sleep finds you before I finish, for these stories are meant to lull you into rest. If moments like this help you drift away, please know you can subscribe, and my voice will be waiting whenever your mind seeks calm. Now, let us begin. There is a gentle scholarly mystery surrounding the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, as historians continue to debate their exact nature. Some quiet reflections suggest these lush floating gardens may have been a beautiful legend rather than a physical place. Picture them now, tiered terraces brimming with flowers and trees that seem to float in the air, water trickling down in soft music through hidden channels. Yet no Babylonian records mention such a marvel, only later Greek accounts like a distant echo. It is possible they existed only in the yearning heart, a poetic invention that still captivates the quiet mind as you lie here in the dark, a legend that blooms like a midnight flower. The Great Pyramid of Giza drifts through time as the only original wonder still standing today. It is by far the oldest of the seven, remaining a peaceful anchor to the ancient world while the others have softly faded away. Think of its ancient stones, bathed in the golden light of countless sunsets, each block a silent guardian of secrets. It was ancient even to the Greeks who first marveled at it, watching over the Nile's eternal flow through wars and quiet centuries. While other wonders have crumbled into memory, this pyramid stands firm, a gentle giant holding the sky, a steady reminder that some things endure as you sink into sleep. While many wonders are gone, small fragments of the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Temple of Artemis, and the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus still exist. These remnants rest quietly in museums or in their original sites, whispering stories of the past. Imagine the lighthouse, once a towering beacon of fire, now reduced to scattered stones beneath the waves or in a dusty museum hall. The Temple of Artemis has left a single reconstructed pillar rising like a quiet monument, and the mausoleum offers a few carved reliefs in silent galleries. These fragments are like the last words of a forgotten poem, gently reminding us of glory that once was, as you listen in the darkness. The traditional list we know today was first established in a 1572 publication titled Octo Mundi Miracula. This collection combined various historical sources to curate a peaceful gallery of the world's most notable structures. Imagine an old leather-bound book, its pages yellowed, compiled by scholars who gathered these wonders from ancient writings. It was a quiet act of preservation, like pressing flowers between the pages of time, capturing descriptions of soaring statues and hanging greenery. The title sounds like a whispered incantation, 8 wonders, though it settled into 7. This list is a gentle guide, reaching back through centuries to touch your sleeping mind with awe. The wonders were scattered across the warm landscapes of the ancient world, with 2 located in Greece, 2 in Turkey, and 2 in Egypt. A single magnificent wonder, the Hanging Gardens, was located in the region of Iraq. Picture the sun-soaked coast of Greece, where the statue of Zeus and the Temple of Artemis once drew pilgrims under the Aegean sky. In Turkey, the mausoleum and temple stood as testaments to devotion, their ruins now kissing the quiet earth. Egypt holds the lighthouse and the timeless pyramid, piercing the desert horizon like a memory-made stone. And in Iraq, the Hanging Gardens bloomed in legend, a mirage of greenery in the arid heart of Mesopotamia, connecting you to an ancient world resting beside you. Long before our modern digital archives, the first known records of the 7 wonders began to appear between the 2nd and 1st century BC. Picture the quiet scratch of a stylus on papyrus as an ancient scholar compiles his list, capturing the spirit of his age. He isn't merely cataloging stones and structures, he is recording dreams made real by human hands. These early documents invite us to see the world through his eyes, where beauty was measured not in scale alone, but in the awe it inspired. Think of a sunset over the Mediterranean, the light catching the edges of a distant monument. It's as if we're peering over his shoulder, glimpsing a landscape where every hilltop might hold a miracle, and every city a secret to share with the future. This was a time when the boundaries between myth and reality blurred, and the wonders served as anchors to the tangible world. They remind us that even then, curiosity was a gentle flame, guiding minds to seek out the extraordinary in their own backyards. Beyond the famous Seven Wonders, other grand structures were often honored in ancient lists, such as the walls of Babylon. These walls were mentioned frequently, offering a sense of strength and quiet protection to the city. Imagine walking along their base, your hand grazing the baked bricks that have stood for millennia. They weren't just barriers of stone, they were a silent embrace around a bustling metropolis, guarding the laughter of children and the wisdom of scholars within. The walls stood like a steadfast guardian, their blue-glazed peaks perhaps reflecting the sky itself, a mirror of the heavens above. This enduring strength whispers a promise of safety, a foundation upon which the glories of Babylon could flourish in peaceful slumber. In the quiet of the night, you might imagine them humming with the energy of a protected city, a lullaby of resilience for all those within their care. The Palace of Cyrus the Great was another recurring marvel, appearing in multiple historical lists. Its presence suggests a place of immense grace and royal tranquility in the ancient East. Picture gardens that stretch like green velvet under the Persian sun, with fountains murmuring secrets in a language of water and stone. The palace wasn't just a seat of power, it was a haven of elegance, where the king might watch the constellations wheel overhead from a columned porch. This graceful sanctuary offered a retreat from the clamor of empires, a place where the soul could breathe amid carved reliefs and fragrant blossoms. The very air seems tinged with the scent of citrus and the faint echo of distant court music, inviting us to drift through its halls in our minds. It stands in our imagination as a testament to the idea that true wonder often lies in spaces of rest and reflection. The Pergamon altar is often mentioned alongside the traditional wonders in several partial and full lists. It represents the artistic spirit of the classical era, carved with delicate and flowing detail. Envision the altar standing on its terrace overlooking a sweeping valley, its marble frieze alive with the struggle of gods and giants. The stone seems to ripple like fabric in a breeze, each figure frozen in a moment of eternal motion. This wasn't just an altar, it was a symphony in stone, telling stories of myth and meaning with every chisel mark. In the quiet of a museum or the open air of its original perch, the Pergamon altar beckons us to appreciate the beauty of human expression, to marvel at how cold rock can pulse with life and passion. It's a testament to the classical era's artistic spirit, where craftsmanship met profound narrative. Even the smallest leaves and drapery folds were carved with a care that speaks across centuries, a delicate whisper from the past that creativity is a form of quiet magic. In total, historians have uncovered at least 8 full lists and 10 partial lists of wonders from antiquity. Each list offers a slightly different, drifting perspective on what the ancient world considered to be truly wondrous. Think of these as fragments of an ancient conversation, each voice highlighting a different marvel based on their travels, their culture, or their dreams. One list might sing of gardens while another whispers of walls, and together they weave a tapestry of human aspiration. These varied records remind us that wonder is personal, shaped by the eyes that behold it and the hearts that remember. As we drift through these ancient catalogs, we're invited to compose our own list of wonders, to notice the everyday miracles that glow softly in our own modern lives. It's like gazing at the night sky and realizing that every star chart drawn through history sees a different constellation, a unique pattern in the same vast darkness. Imagine, if you will, a terraced mountain of green ascending from the Mesopotamian plain, each level cascading with exotic plants and the whisper of hidden waterfalls. The hanging gardens of Babylon remain a gentle mystery, a riddle wrapped in the soft haze of antiquity. Scholars still debate in hushed tones whether these lush, drifting gardens ever truly existed outside the pages of ancient texts. Some believe they were a tangible wonder built by a king for a homesick queen, while others suggest they may have bloomed only in the collective imagination, a beautiful dream of paradise. The uncertainty itself adds a layer of enchantment, like a half-remembered story told by firelight. Perhaps the gardens live on precisely because they were never pinned down, forever suspended between reality and reverie. But while the gardens flutter in and out of our grasp, another wonder refuses to fade. The Great Pyramid of Giza still stands in peaceful silence on the Giza Plateau, its limestone blocks softened by the caress of millennia. It is by far the oldest of the seven wonders, a timeless sentinel that has witnessed the entire sweep of recorded history. Picture the golden dawn light slipping across its triangular faces, just as it has done for over 4,000 years. Empires have risen and crumbled, languages have shifted, and yet this monument of stone quietly endures. It holds its secrets close, a calm anchor in a sea of change, reminding us that some things do persist. Our modern understanding of these marvels traces back to a quiet act of curation centuries ago. The official list we recognize today was thoughtfully established in the 1572 publication titled Octo Mundi Miracula. This collection carefully combined various historical sources, weaving together the threads from ancient travelers and scholars. It curated the 7 most notable structures of classical antiquity, giving them a shared identity that has echoed through the ages. It was as if a gentle hand reached back in time to pluck these wonders from obscurity and set them side by side in a garland of remembrance. This act of preservation, done with ink and paper, became itself a small wonder. If you unroll a soft map of these wonders, you will find a balanced distribution across the sun-kissed lands of the ancient Mediterranean world. 2 wonders rested in the warmth of Greece, where olive groves whispered to temples and statues. 2 graced the coast of what is now Turkey, bridging Europe and Asia with their marble grandeur. 2 stood in Egypt, the land of the Nile, one being the enduring pyramid and the other a lighthouse that once kissed the sea. And 1 lay in the quiet plains of Iraq, where the mythical gardens may have bloomed. This gentle scattering across the landscape feels like a deliberate pattern, a constellation of human aspiration planted in the earth. Though time has drifted away, fragments of some wonders still exist, sleeping peacefully in their original places or within quiet museum halls. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, once a towering beacon, now rests beneath the sea, its stones scattered like forgotten memories on the seabed. The Temple of Artemis left behind a single column and a few sculpted treasures, now resting in museums where soft lighting caresses their ancient forms. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus, the tomb that gave its name to all such structures, yielded intricate friezes and colossal statues, fragments that still whisper of lost grandeur. These remnants are not dead, merely dreaming, carrying the essence of wonder across the ages. They invite us to listen closely to the quiet stories they hold. Long before anyone ever thought to carve a final and permanent list of wonders into history's stone, ancient minds moved like a river through their own flowing collections. The earliest known record of such a list floats back to the quiet centuries, somewhere in the gentle shift between the 2nd and 1st centuries before Christ. Picture a solitary scribe in the low flicker of an oil lamp, his quill scratching softly as he selects, from memory, the sites that most moved his soul. There was no fixed number then, no rigid order. Only the tender act of choosing what made the world feel vast and beautiful. It is a whisper from 2,000 years ago, reminding us that wonder itself is older and softer than any decree. History holds on to so many different eyes and hearts, preserving at least 8 full lists and 10 partial fragments from those ancient days. Each one is like a slightly different window, opening onto a landscape of human awe. Some lists celebrate a towering statue while another gazes instead upon gardens suspended in the air. These varied perspectives do not contradict each other as much as they show us that awe is personal, shaped by the soul who witnesses it. Reading them is like holding a handful of faded petals, each one carrying its own faint scent of the sublime. Among the marvels that once dominated these scrolls but did not make the final 7, the walls of Babylon stand as silent giants in the memory of the world. Ancient writers describe them again and again, floating through multiple accounts like a colossal, shimmering mirage on the horizon. Their immensity felt almost mythic, a boundary between the realm of men and the endless desert sky. Even though they faded from the later canon, their echoing presence reminds us that some wonders are simply too vast to be contained by a single list, remaining instead as a whispered rumor of lost glory. Another vision of serene and quiet power that recurred across the early lists was the palace of Cyrus the Great. It appeared more than twice in different ancient records, each time described with a kind of hushed reverence. There was nothing ostentatious about its grandeur, rather it sat on the landscape like a calm and imposing mountain remembered from a dream. The palace spoke of a king who built not for vanity but for a kind of gentle permanence, a place where art and authority met in harmonious stillness. Those who wrote about it seemed to sense that true majesty does not shout but simply stands, serene and unforgettable. Then there is the Pergamon altar, a quiet hymn carved in marble, which surfaced again and again in those old catalogues of wonder. It was not a boastful monument but a peaceful pursuit of beauty, its friezes telling tales of gods and mortals in a silent, sculptural dance. The altar represents the delicate artistic soul of classical antiquity, a time when even warring nations paused to honor grace and proportion. Like the other vanished candidates, it whispers to us across the ages that the ancients treasured not only what was immense, but what lifted the human spirit toward a quiet and luminous ideal. Hey, still drifting with me? That's perfectly fine. You don't need to be anywhere else. If your mind is still wandering softly among these ancient echoes, I have so many more to share. If this is soothing your night, a gentle light can guide other dreamers here. In our quiet dreams of the past, we sometimes hold a clear and simple image of the seven wonders, but the list we cherish today, the one that drifts through our minds at night, did not always exist. It came together slowly, like starlight from a distant age. The version we know was gently curated in the year 1572 in a book named Octo, Mundi, Miracula. This publication gathered whispers from various historical voices, weaving them into a single tapestry. It painted a picture of seven structures, the most notable of classical antiquity. They were chosen with care, as if picking the brightest stars from a vast and ancient sky. These wonders became a constellation in our collective memory, a soft guide through the darkness of history. And among these jewels, one shimmers with a tender mystery. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, located in the soft cradle of modern-day Iraq, remain a gentle puzzle. Scholars continue to debate, with voices as soft as a breeze, about the true nature of these gardens. They wonder if the gardens were terraced with lush green layers, or if they held a different shape altogether. Some even wonder if they ever truly existed in the physical world. This lingering question does not demand an answer. It simply floats through time, a delicate bloom in the garden of history. It is a quiet secret held by the desert wind, a story that lulls us further into sleep. Of all the wonders that ancient hands built in love and labor, only one still stands. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the eldest among them, rests quietly by the Nile. It watches over the shifting sands of Egypt, as it has for thousands of years. This pyramid is the sole witness to the grandeur of a world long faded. In its silent stones, it holds the memory of all the others. Those other wonders have since wandered into legend, leaving only whispers behind. But the pyramid remains, a steady and gentle presence in the moonlight, a quiet giant that never sleeps, comforting us with its enduring calm. But history has many currents, and other structures nearly sailed into that official list. In the soft drift of time, the walls of Babylon, the palace of Cyrus the Great, and the Pergamon altar appeared more than twice across early records. They were like stars that almost joined that constellation of wonders. These names shimmered in the minds of early travelers, but they gently slipped into the soft haze of the past. Yet, in the dreams of the people then, they stood as tall as any wonder. They are the echoes of wonders that almost were, lulling us with their near presence. The wonders that did secure their place were thoughtfully spread around the warm Mediterranean. Two of them nestled in the ancient lands of Greece, feeling the sea breeze that still sings lullabies. Two more stood under the golden sun in what is now Turkey, their stones warmed by a gentle light. Another two rested in the golden embrace of Egypt, near the life-giving Nile. And one, the gardens cloaked in tender mystery, lay in the heart of Iraq. This gentle balance across the earth connected civilizations in a shared dream. It reminds us that even in distant times, people were united by a sense of wonder. And as you drift deeper into sleep, let this thought soothe you like a soft tide. In the quiet of ancient times, long before any famous inventories, the first records of the world's wonders began to surface. They floated into existence between the 2nd and 1st century before Christ, like gentle ripples on a calm sea. Historians have discovered at least 8 complete lists and 10 partial lists from this early era. These delicate documents are like faded dreams, hinting at what captivated the human spirit in those distant days. Each list was a quiet attempt to hold on to something beautiful and fleeting. They speak of a timeless desire to marvel at the world's mysteries. Although many of the ancient wonders have dissolved into memory, peaceful fragments persist. Pieces of the lighthouse of Alexandria, the temple of Artemis, and the mausoleum at Halicarnassus still survive. These quiet remnants are carefully preserved, either resting where they first stood or held in the hush of museums. In their stillness, they offer a gentle connection to the past. Each fragment is a whisper of stone and light, inviting us to dream of what once was. They are like sleeping treasures, waiting to share their soft stories. The air around them feels thick with time, yet deeply calm. Touching these remnants with our gaze is like tracing the edges of a half-remembered dream. The statue of Zeus at Olympia stood as a testament to divine artistry and peace. Alongside the Colossus of Rhodes, it embodied the breathtaking scale of human creativity in ancient Greece. Picture Zeus, seated in serene majesty, his form glowing with ivory and gold. Across the sea, the Colossus rose, a sunlit guardian at the harbor's entrance. These creations were not just monuments, they were quiet celebrations of the human spirit. Their scale was immense, yet their essence was one of silent wonder. In their shadows, people must have felt a deep sense of belonging to something timeless and beautiful. They stand in our memories like lullabies from a bygone era. The Temple of Artemis and the mausoleum at Halicarnassus once graced the landscapes of what is now Turkey. They were revered for their intricate beauty and the deep serenity they provided to all who came near. Picture the temple, with its forest of columns standing like a silent grove under the sky. Nearby, the mausoleum rose, its sculpted friezes telling stories in stone. These places offered a haven from the world's noise, a space where time slowed down. Visitors must have felt wrapped in a blanket of peace, their souls soothed by the harmony of form and spirit. Even now, the memory of these sites lingers like a faint, sweet scent on the breeze. The lighthouse of Alexandria once cast a soft, guiding light across the Egyptian coast. It worked in harmony with the Great Pyramid of Giza to define the architectural soul of the region. At dawn, the lighthouse would catch the first rays of the sun, its form a quiet beacon of safety. By night, its gentle flame mirrored the stars, offering a steady path for weary travelers. The pyramid, in its timeless stillness, complemented this light with an earthy permanence. Together, they wove a tapestry of stone and illumination, a lullaby of human achievement. This harmony spoke of a world where wonder and comfort lived side by side, like two old friends in mutual respect. Of all the wonders the ancient world once held, only one remains, still breathing in the quiet Egyptian sands. The Great Pyramid of Giza has watched the centuries drift by, steady and silent. It is the oldest of them all and the last to stand. The others have long since faded away, swallowed by time and memory. This pyramid rests peacefully, its massive stones warmed by the same sun that once shone on pharaohs as the desert wind hums a lullaby of ages gone. The hanging gardens of Babylon live in a soft and gentle mystery. Scholars still wonder about their exact nature, whispering across the centuries. Were they real terraces of lush greenery, rising like a mountain of flowers in the desert air, or were they a beautiful dream whispered from traveler to traveler? The gardens drift in possibility, a floating paradise that might have graced the ancient skyline, or might only have ever blossomed in the imagination of a world that longed for such a place. The list we know today was gently gathered and set into words in the year 1572. A publication called Octo Mundi Miracula, or 8 Wonders of the World, collected dust and stories from old historical sources. It carefully wove them into a timeless guide. That small book became a quiet anchor, holding these breathtaking structures and their memories together so they would not slip away entirely. It offered future generations a map to the peaks of classical antiquity, a list of places where human hands reached toward the divine. Looking out across the ancient world, these wonders were thoughtfully scattered like seeds across the landscape. You could find 2 of them in the warm breezes of Greece, where sunlight drapes over marble and stone. 2 more rested in the lands of Turkey, at the meeting place of continents. 2 stood in the golden light of Egypt, where the river Nile nourished memory and myth. And 1 final wonder lay far to the east, resting in the quiet plains of Iraq, a solitary jewel among the reeds and rivers. Long before the final list was written down, other grand structures shimmered in the dreams of early travelers. The walls of Babylon rose massive and protective, encircling a city like a mother's embrace. The palace of Cyrus the Great spread across the landscape, a place of pillars and cool shade. These earlier wonders floated through the memories of those who wandered the old roads. They appeared again and again on the lists that came before, echoes of a time when the world's beauty was still being discovered and named by whispering voices under the stars. We drift now into a deeper layer of memory, where ancient wonders still whisper in the shadows of time. The lighthouse of Alexandria, the temple of Artemis, and the mausoleum at Halicarnassus have mostly faded from our waking world. Yet soft echoes of them remain, like whispers in stone. Small pieces of these wonders are still preserved, resting peacefully either in museums or at their original sites. You can imagine them there, fragments of marble and memory, catching the pale light of a quiet gallery. If you listen closely, you might hear the distant murmur of waves against the lighthouse foundation, or sense the lingering scent of incense near where the temple once stood. These remnants invite a gentle kind of dreaming, a reverie that crosses ages. Long before our time, someone felt the urge to gather these marvels together in thought. The very first known attempt to list the wonders of the world dates back to the quiet transition between the 2nd and 1st century BC. Imagine a scribe in a lamplit room, carefully inscribing names on papyrus, each entry a wish for something eternal. This began a long tradition of humans cataloging the most peaceful and impressive sights of their era. It was a way of holding on to beauty, of mapping the world's most tranquil aspirations. A quiet act of preservation, like pressing a flower between the pages of time. These lists were more than just names. They were maps of the human heart, charting the places where wonder touched the earth. And as time passed, more lists appeared, each a gentle variation on a theme. Variety existed in these ancient records. At least 8 full lists and 10 partial lists have drifted through history, like leaves on a slow stream. Each list offered a slightly different perspective on what made the world truly wondrous. Some included gardens that breathed green life, others walls that touched the sky, yet all shared a reverence for the sacred and the serene, a quiet acknowledgement that some places hold a special peace. Reading them now feels like walking through a dreamer's gallery where the walls shift with each soft step. Among these alternate wonders, a magnificent structure called the Pergamon altar appeared more than twice across various historical lists. It was a testament to sculptural splendor, its marble friezes alive with scenes of struggle and devotion. Even now you can feel its grandeur, a quiet echo of timeless art. It stands in stillness, in a museum far from its original hilltop, yet the devotion carved into its stones still whispers. It reminds us that beauty is a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a place where the soul can rest. Of all these possibilities, a familiar collection emerged and settled in our collective memory like a soft constellation. The traditional 7 wonders include the Colossus of Rhodes and the statue of Zeus at Olympia. Both captured the spirit of the ancient world, one standing tall over the harbor, catching the last rays of the sun, the other serene within a temple's shade, crowned with olive leaves. Together with the others, they formed a constellation of architectural beauty and quiet wonder, a gentle light that still shimmers in our imaginations. They invite us to rest and dream of those far-off days when gods walked among mortals and the world seemed full of silent marvels. And so we are held, cradled by these ancient dreams, as the night deepens around us. Let us drift now into the realm of ancient wonders, where history and myth intertwine like soft threads in a gentle breeze. Among the legendary 7 wonders, only the Great Pyramid of Giza still stands today. It remains as a quiet, enduring sentinel of history, a gentle giant of stone against the shifting sands of Egypt. This majestic structure is recognized as the oldest of all the traditional wonders, holding the secrets of ancient pharaohs and the whispers of windswept millennia. Imagine the warm desert breeze brushing against its massive blocks, while the moon casts a soft glow over this ageless monument. It stands silently, a calm reminder that some things are meant to last beyond the reach of time, a steady heartbeat in the stillness of the night. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon are shrouded in a gentle mystery, as scholars continue to debate their exact nature. Some historians even wonder if these drifting green terraces existed at all, or if they were a beautiful dream of the ancient world. Picture a cascade of lush foliage, waterfalls murmuring through tiered gardens, and the scent of jasmine floating in the air. This wonder, perhaps born from love and longing, floats through our collective memory like a half-remembered song. Its very uncertainty adds to its enchantment, making it a delicate vision that lulls us into a state of deep reverie and calm. While the traditional list is well known, ancient records show that other magnificent sites were once honored. The walls of Babylon, the palace of Cyrus the Great, and the Pergamon altar appeared frequently on early lists of wonders. These marvels were celebrated in their time, echoing with the footsteps of ancient peoples and the prayers of forgotten priests. The towering walls spoke of protection, the palace of regal splendor, and the altar of sacred devotion. Now they are soft impressions on the canvas of history, fading like morning mist over meadows and streams. The formal list we recognize today was first established in the 1572 publication titled Octo Mundi Miracula. This collection of wonders was carefully curated by blending various historical sources into one peaceful record. Imagine a wise scholar in a candlelit room, softly sifting through scrolls and tales to choose these marvels. It was an act of gentle preservation, weaving together the awe of ancient civilizations into a harmonious list. This quiet compilation has become our shared inheritance, a serene catalog of human dreams from long ago, kept safe in the pages of time. Across the soft landscapes of the ancient world, the wonders were nestled in just 4 modern-day countries. 2 were located in Greece, 2 in Turkey, 2 in Egypt, and 1 in Iraq. This gentle mapping places them in lands of olive groves, rugged coasts, and vast deserts. Each wonder found its home in a landscape that cradled their glory under the same stars. Think of these sites as distant lullabies sung by the earth to soothe our waking hours. They are quiet points of light on a map of memories connecting us to the past and to each other. Thank you for wandering with me through these gentle echoes of the past. May your sleep be deep and your dreams be filled with calm wonders. Long ago, before the centuries had names, poets and scholars tried to capture the world's most fleeting wonders. As early as the 2nd century before Christ, they sat with ink and parchment, composing lists of sights that felt like dreams made of stone. At least 8 complete collections were written in that time, and 10 more that were only partially finished, as if the beauty itself slipped away before the words could settle. Each list was an attempt to hold onto something vast and luminous, a gentle race against time. The lighthouse of Alexandria once stood on the edge of the sea, its great flame reaching out to guide ships through the dark. That golden light is gone now, carried off by the centuries and the slow work of the waves. But the story does not end there. Small pieces of the lighthouse still remain,
resting quietly in the same harbor where they once guarded the night, or tucked safely inside glass cases in museums, like old memories someone chose not to forget. The stone sleeps now, but it still remembers the glow.
The Temple of Artemis rose in Ephesus with marble columns that seemed to hold the sky, and the mausoleum at Halicarnassus climbed in graceful steps toward the sun. Both were treasures of their age, carved with devotion and wonder. They have not vanished completely. Hushed remnants of those great structures still wait in the earth where they once stood, and others rest in distant halls, silent witnesses to a grace that time could not completely erase. You can almost feel their shape if you close your eyes and listen. The Colossus of Rhodes towered over its harbor with the sun on its bronze skin, and the statue of Zeus at Olympia sat in quiet majesty, gold and ivory glowing in the temple's calm light. These statues were not just grand in size, but in the feeling they gave, a steady presence watching over cities and souls. They stood for a while, then slowly returned to the earth, drifting into history like a cloud that dissolves at dusk. That quiet fading is part of their beauty too. The tradition of the Seven Wonders is really a reflection of something deep inside us, the desire to gather up beauty and mark it as precious. All through classical antiquity, people looked upon monuments that lifted their hearts and wrote them down so they would not be forgotten. These 7 structures, chosen from so many remarkable sites, became a gentle constellation across the ancient world, connecting each place with a shared sense of wonder. It is a timeless habit, this collecting of the lovely and the fleeting, as if to say, look, this was here, and it mattered. The list of wonders is complete, and now stillness can settle in. Let these old stones and distant statues drift into the quiet of your breathing, no need to hold on to them any longer. Let your thoughts settle upon the ancient wonders, like drifting clouds across a sleeping sky. The Great Pyramid of Giza still rises from the desert sands, a quiet and peaceful sentinel of the distant past. It is far older than any other wonder, standing alone long after the others have faded into memory. Day after day, it watches the sun trace its arc over the golden horizon. The wind moves softly around its ancient stones, carrying whispers of thousands of years. In the stillness of the desert, the pyramid remains a gentle reminder of what human hands can create and what endures long after empires have turned to dust. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon drift through our imagination like a hazy dream. Scholars still debate whether these lush terraces truly existed or were only a beautiful legend. Some whisper that they rose in tiered splendor, filled with exotic plants and cool waterfalls cascading down the stone steps. Others believe they were a mirage of ancient words, a vision of paradise born from longing. This mystery only deepens their charm, allowing us to picture them in our minds as floating gardens suspended in time, a gentle breath of green in a dry and weary world. The list of wonders we know today was carefully gathered in a book from 1572, titled Octo Mundi Miracula. Quiet scholars sifted through old manuscripts and stories, weaving together a definitive collection of antiquity's greatest achievements. They blended voices from long ago, selecting monuments that captured the human spirit. This compilation became the list that would travel through centuries, settling softly into our modern memory. It was a gentle act of preservation, holding on to the dreams of sculptors, architects, and kings so that we might still wonder at them now. The earliest lists of wonders were not always the same as ours. They date back to the 2nd or 1st century before Christ, emerging from the mists of old parchment. History knows of at least 8 complete lists and 10 partial ones, each offering a slightly different gaze upon the ancient world. Some included monuments we no longer recall, others left out landmarks we now treasure. These variations are like viewing a distant mountain through shifting fog, each glimpse revealing a new outline. What we see today is just one quiet reflection among many, each one honoring a different facet of human admiration. Beyond the famous 7, other magnificent structures often appeared in early records. The walls of Babylon stood proudly in many accounts, their great gates gleaming under the Mesopotamian sun. The Pergamon altar rose with its sculpted frieze, a tribute to forgotten gods and heroes. The palace of Cyrus the Great also surfaced again and again across ancient scrolls, a regal home wrapped in quiet gardens. These echoes remind us that admiration was wide and varied, like a constellation where many stars shared the light. The ancient world was rich with wonders, each one a soft footprint left upon the heart of memory. Imagine, if you will, a map of the ancient world drawn in soft, faded colors. The seven wonders were not clustered together, but gently scattered across the warm heart of the Mediterranean and the Near East. Two of them rose from the sun-drenched sands of Egypt, where the light rests golden on the land. Two more were cradled in the gentle, rolling hills of what is now Turkey, their stones once warmed by the same kind sun. Greece, the cradle of philosophy and art, held two of these marvels within its embrace, and one stood alone in the fertile heart of Iraq, a sentinel by the rivers of Mesopotamia. The distance between them only adds to the dreamlike quality of their memory, as if they were stars in a constellation spread across the earth. Now let your thoughts drift to the two wonders of Greece. The Colossus of Rhodes and the statue of Zeus at Olympia represented the very peak of artistic achievement. They were not monuments of war, but of quiet grandeur. Picture the Colossus, a towering figure of bronze, perhaps not straddling the harbor as the old tales say, but standing beside it, its form a calm and steady presence watching over the ships. And the statue of Zeus, seated on his throne of ivory and gold, filled the temple not with thunder, but with a profound sense of peace and awe. These figures were designed to lift the spirit, to inspire a silent, deep reverence in all who gazed upon them. They were anchors for the human soul. Time, of course, has carried most of these wonders away on a soft tide. The lighthouse of Alexandria and the temple of Artemis have left behind only whispers in stone. Fragmented remains, quiet and patient, can still be found resting in museums or lying on their original sites under the open sky. You can see a carved column drum from the temple, its marble cool and smooth. You can imagine the lighthouse, not as a harsh beam, but as a soft, guiding glow that pushed back the mist and the darkness, a steady flame calling sailors home to the harbor. These quiet pieces of stone are like pages from a forgotten book, allowing us to rebuild the image not with our eyes, but with the gentle light of our imagination. Drift a little further east, to the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. This was not a place of sorrow, but a place of resting and of deep remembrance. It was a grand monument to a life lived fully, a tomb built with such love and artistry that it became a wonder in itself. Four sides adorned with sculptures, a pyramidal roof reaching for the sky, and a chariot on its peak. Though the structure no longer stands, its memory lingers, soft as lamplight, in the historical records. It remains a masterpiece of ancient architecture, a serene testament to the idea that a resting place can be a thing of profound beauty, a final, peaceful offering to someone cherished. To reflect on the seven wonders is to take a gentle journey, to drift through the geography of the ancient world as if in a slow-moving dream. From the blue shores of the Mediterranean to the life-giving rivers of Mesopotamia, these structures once stood as beacons of human creativity and determination. They were not just stone and metal, but ideas made visible. Now they rest, almost all of them, in the quiet embrace of history, their stories floating down the streams of time. They are not completely lost, for they live on in the mind, a soft echo of a world that imagined such magnificent things, and in imagining, proved what the human heart can aspire to create. The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a quiet sentinel of time. While many wonders have faded into memory, this ancient structure remains untouched by the hands of decay. It is by far the oldest of the seven wonders, drifting through the millennia as the others slowly vanished into dust and legend. Imagine its stone face watching over the desert, witnessing empires rise and fall in silent stillness. Its shadow stretches across the sands, a dark shape that has seen the world change utterly. People come and go, but the pyramid simply is a patient monument to human endeavor, enduring in a quiet corner of our dreams. From that solid stone, we drift to a wonder of a different kind, one that may have been more dream than reality. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon are wrapped in a gentle mystery. Scholars peacefully debate their exact nature, wondering if these terraces were real or a beautiful illusion. Some imagine lush greenery cascading in the air, a vision of paradise that might have only existed in the hearts of those who longed for it. Perhaps these gardens were never more than a lovely thought, a whisper of green in a dry land that inspired the mind to create a sanctuary of peace. The soft rustle of leaves in that distant place remains a sweet, unanswered question, a place where water flowed upward and plants hung in the sky like a memory of Eden. The list of wonders we know today was softly gathered in a 1572 publication called Octo Mundi Miracula. This collection drew from various historical sources to bring together the 7 most notable structures of classical antiquity. In that act of recording, a quiet standard was set, allowing these marvels to live on in our collective imagination. It felt like a gentle hand reaching back through the ages to cup each wonder in careful words. The compiler must have moved through libraries like a dreamer through gardens, picking only the most luminous blooms from the past. And so the list was born, a quiet constellation of human achievement that still guides our sense of awe, reminding us how we have always sought to hold on to beauty, to name it and let it live on in the mind.
Across the ancient landscape, these marvels were softly distributed among a few treasured regions. 2 rested in Greece, 2 in Turkey, and 2 in Egypt, with the final wonder in the quiet lands of modern-day Iraq. This gentle scattering placed them like stars across the map, each in its own cradle of civilization. Think of them as whispers on the wind, calling from different corners of the known world, each with its own song of wonder. The Greek ones stood in the land of philosophy, the Turkish ones on the edge of ancient empires, and the Egyptian ones in the shadow of the Nile. They shone softly, each a light in the human story that has never fully dimmed.
Long before that 5,572 list, the first records of the world's wonders began to drift into writing between the 2nd and 1st century BC. These early lists served as a peaceful guide to the most magnificent sights of the era, a soft call to the traveler's soul. They were like ancient invitations, whispering of beauty and grandeur that still echo faintly today. Before paper or parchment, these lists were perhaps murmured around fires, passed from mind to mind as a way to dream together of far-off places. They held the first seeds of our longing for the sublime, a quiet yearning that connected all who heard them. In those simple catalogs, we find the earliest dreams of wonder, still breathing in the quiet spaces of history. Beyond the traditional 7, other grand structures occasionally appeared on ancient lists, such as the walls of Babylon, the palace of Cyrus the Great, and the Pergamon altar. These wonders were like whispers from a distant past, emerging in early accounts with a gentle, almost forgotten grace. The walls of Babylon, with their massive beauty, once cradled a city in a protective embrace. The palace of Cyrus held a quiet, regal peace in its halls, and the Pergamon altar rose as a serene tribute to art and the divine. They float through history, reminding us that magnificence is a soft, subjective dream. The lighthouse of Alexandria has mostly faded, but its soft remnants remain. Some are sheltered in quiet museums, others lie still in their original places, resting in the embrace of the earth. These gentle pieces murmur tales of the brilliant light that once cut through the darkness, guiding weary sailors home. To see them is to feel a quiet connection, a thread linking us to that ancient beacon. In their silent endurance, they offer a peaceful meditation on permanence and loss. Similarly, the Temple of Artemis and the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus have gifted us soft traces of their past brilliance. A single column, a carved stone, these fragments rest in the landscape like quiet memories. They let us dream of their once great halls and soaring spaces, filled with the warmth of devotion and ritual. We can almost feel the sun-warmed marble and sense the vast, serene dimensions of these sacred places. Through these lingering hints, the sanctuaries live on in a tender, imaginative light. History holds the Colossus of Rhodes and the statue of Zeus at Olympia as towering embodiments of art and devotion. These figures stood silently, their grand forms a testament to the reach of human skill and faith. They were serene giants, watching over harbors and temples until the slow tide of centuries reclaimed them. Now they exist only in the mind's eye, where we can picture their calm, majestic presence. In this way, they are eternal, woven into the fabric of our collective dreams. When we look deeper, we find that historians have uncovered many lists of wonders from antiquity, at least 8 complete ones and 10 that are partial. Each one offers a different drifting perspective, like clouds shifting shape in a twilight sky. They show us that magnificence was never a single fixed idea, but a soft, flowing notion that changed with time and taste. These lists are gentle guides inviting us to wander through the various gardens of ancient admiration. In their diversity, they whisper that wonder is, and always has been, a deeply personal and quiet experience. While most ancient wonders have softly slipped away into the mists of history, the Great Pyramid of Giza endures in a peaceful, golden solitude under the vast desert sky. It is the oldest of the 7, a warm and steady bridge connecting us to a time long asleep, its massive stones holding the weight of millennia and the whispers of forgotten gods. Standing before it, you feel the hush of the ancient world, the gentle breath of the wind carrying secrets from the distant past, and the deep stillness of a structure that has seen the rise and fall of civilizations, yet remains a timeless sentinel in the warm, shifting sands. The hanging gardens of Babylon drift through history like a soft, green dream, their lush terraces and cascading waters wrapped in a gentle shroud of mystery that still beguiles the quiet minds of scholars. Some wonder if these floating gardens were ever truly real, if they bloomed with fragrant flowers and whispered with the sound of trickling streams, or if they were merely a beautiful vision painted by the hopeful heart of the ancient world. In this deep uncertainty, the gardens remain a sigh of wonder, a fleeting paradise that hovers between reality and the misty realm of imagination, a soothing thought to cradle as you drift ever closer to sleep. In the quiet year of 1572, a careful and loving hand compiled the wonders we now cherish, weaving them into a list called Octo Mundi Miracula from the soft, fraying threads of classical antiquity. This collection was a gentle act of preservation, each wonder drawn from old manuscripts and distant voices, stitched together with a quiet and deep reverence that echoes through the centuries to us. It stands as a tapestry of memory, a guiding light to the marvels that once graced the ancient earth, and in its words, you can feel the devotion of those who sought to remember the beauty of the past in the still, contemplative hours of their study. Across the sun-warmed Mediterranean, the 7 wonders softly rested, their presences now scattered like fallen leaves across 4 modern lands, each one a silent testament to human aspiration. Greece cradled 2 treasures in its olive-groved hills and azure bays, while Turkey held 2 within its rugged, storied landscapes, and Egypt kept 2 in its deep, shadowed sands beneath the eternal gaze of the silver moon. One final wonder settled into the quiet heart of Iraq, a lone echo of verdant beauty now wrapped in the golden hush of the desert, a still point in a world that never ceases to move, forever waiting to be remembered in the soft silence of your dreams. So long before that cherished list, in the drifting centuries of the 2nd to 1st century BC, early whispers of wonders began to stir, their forms emerging like faint stars in the ancient night. These first accounts were many and varied, with at least 8 full versions and 10 partial ones floating through the quiet corridors of history, each a delicate story on the verge of being swept away. They were like soft, forgotten melodies, their notes carried on the breath of time, echoing a sense of awe that nearly dissolved into the vast and deep stillness of the past. In their fragility, we find a gentle reminder of how close we came to losing the memory of these marvels, now preserved in the warm embrace of your imagination as you sink deeply into rest. Before the seven wonders were fixed in memory, other marvels drifted through the ancient scrolls like breath on a cold window. The walls of Babylon rose in warm brick and gleaming glaze, a vast embrace around the city, shimmering with a soft, eternal light that seemed to hum with life. The palace of Cyrus and the Pergamon altar appeared more than twice in those early lists, their names carried on a gentle breath of time. They linger in the silence of lost ages, a tender warmth in the cool night of our remembering, a faint glow from a lantern long extinguished, a whisper of stone and sand that still echoes in the deep well of history. These forgotten places, they rest now like sleeping giants, their dreams woven into the fabric of the earth. The Colossus of Rhodes and the Lighthouse of Alexandria once stood as guiding beacons of light and artistry. Their flames a warm pulse on the horizon, a heartbeat for the ships at sea. Though they are no longer with us, their stories continue to float through the halls of history, like embers carried on a gentle current, soft tales told by the water to the shore. Imagine their soft glow on ancient seas, a steady hand reaching through the dark, a promise of safe harbor in the deep, velvet night, a lullaby of light for weary travelers, a golden thread woven into the tapestry of time. You can almost hear the distant toll of their bells, a faint chime in the fog of memory, calling you home to the harbor of dreams. The statue of Zeus at Olympia and the temple of Artemis were crafted with immense devotion and detail, each surface a silent prayer carved in ivory and gold, each pillar a hymn to the divine. These sites once glowed with the spiritual energy of their time, creating a sense of profound peace and awe, a warm stillness that settled deep in the soul like sunlight through ancient leaves. You can almost feel the cool marble beneath reverent fingers, the soft hush of sandaled feet on sacred stone, the gentle flicker of oil lamps casting long, sleepy shadows across the altar. And there is a scent in the air, a subtle fragrance of myrrh and old wood, a perfume of lost prayers rising into the stillness of the night. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was a place of quiet remembrance and architectural beauty, its marble reliefs whispering tales of eternal rest, its steps a slow ascent into reverie. Today, small pieces of its legacy remain, resting gently in museums or still nestled within the earth in situ, like seeds of memory waiting for the spring, cradled in the warm soil. These fragments carry the weight of ancient love, a soft echo of a tomb that touched the sky, a serene hush in the soil of Anatolia. You can sense the stillness there, a deep breath held in the stone, a peaceful slumber that has not been disturbed for centuries, and perhaps in the quiet of the museum, under the soft lights, you can trace the patterns of its past with your eyes, feeling the cool shadow of history brush against your skin. Soft fragments of the Lighthouse of Alexandria and the Temple of Artemis still exist today, scattered like quiet notes of a forgotten song, shards of starlight held in the palm of the present. These gentle remains allow us to imagine the warmth and grandeur of the ancient world as we drift toward sleep, a soothing balm for the mind, a soft blanket of history drawn up to our chins. Close your eyes and see the light playing on those old stones, a warm glow in the darkness, a gentle tide pulling you into rest, into the deep blue calm of slumber, where all wonders are once again whole. Breathe deeply and let the ancient whispers carry you away, a soft lull in the vast sea of dreams. Feel the weight of time settle around you, a comfortable heaviness, like sinking into a featherbed of ages past. Drift now on the warm currents of history into the deep peace of dreams. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon remain a soft, lingering mystery. Scholars still drift through quiet debates, wondering if those lush, floating terraces ever existed. Some say the gardens rose from the desert like a cool breath, a cascade of green hanging in the warm air. Others believe they were only a beautiful dream, captured in ancient writings and whispered across the centuries. You can almost feel the damp earth, the scent of jasmine on a gentle breeze. But the truth is hidden now, deep and still within the hush of history. While most wonders have faded into the ages, the Great Pyramid of Giza still stands as a silent guardian of the past. It is the oldest of them all, watching over the sands of Egypt with ancient, unblinking eyes. The stone feels warm under the endless sun, carrying the weight of millennia in every block. You can sense the quiet vastness there, the soft whisper of time etched into limestone. It endures, a steady presence in a world that has forgotten so much. In a peaceful arrangement of geography, the wonders were tucked into just 4 modern lands. 2 rested in the sunlit landscapes of Greece, 2 in the ancient soils of Turkey, 2 lay cradled in Egypt's warm sands, and 1 in the quiet, far reaches of Iraq. Imagine them scattered like sleeping giants across the map, each nestled into the earth. You can almost trace them with your finger on a faded atlas, feeling the gentle curve of coastlines and deserts. These 4 countries held breathtaking visions, now mostly whispers in the dust. The list we know today was thoughtfully established in a book from 1572 titled Octo Mundi Miracula. That collection gently wove together ancient sources, curating 7 structures of classical antiquity. It was a careful act of remembrance, a way to hold on to beauty that had begun to fade. Like a quiet curator, the author gathered these names and set them down on paper. Each one a soft echo, a breath from a world long gone, preserved in ink and still warm to the touch. Beyond the famous 7, other wonders once graced ancient lists. The walls of Babylon rose from the dust, the Pergamon altar stood on a hilltop, and the palace of Cyrus the Great shimmered in old stories. These names drifted in and out of early records, like half-remembered dreams. You can almost see them, vast and still in the golden light of a setting sun. Feel the weight of stones that no longer stand, the deep quiet where they once were. They are the lost verses of history's song. In the soft shadows of the 2nd and 1st centuries before Christ, the first quiet lists of the world's wonders were made. History holds at least 8 full lists and 10 partial ones, each offering a gentle glimpse of ancient beauty. These lists, like delicate echoes from a distant time, whisper of structures that once touched the sky and temples that held the divine. They remind us that humanity has long sought to celebrate the sublime, the creations that lift the spirit into a realm of awe. Though they are no longer whole, gentle fragments of the lighthouse of Alexandria, the temple of Artemis, and the mausoleum still exist. These peaceful remains are kept either in their original resting places or tucked away in quiet museums. You can almost feel the warmth of the stone, the soft wear of centuries like a comforting blanket. Sometimes a small shard can hold an entire world, a whisper of the sea wind on the lighthouse or the hushed prayers in the temple. The Colossus of Rhodes once stood as a towering marvel, a celebration of human creativity. It has since returned to the earth over slow centuries. Imagine that vast, sun-kissed figure watching over the harbor. Now, only the deep, still memory of its shadow remains, carried by the island winds. It was a beacon of ambition, forged in light, now dissolved into a soft quietness. Feel the warm sea breeze where it once stood, empty and free. The statue of Zeus at Olympia and the temple of Artemis brought a sense of divine grace to Greece and Turkey. These structures were serene centers of devotion and artistry. Feel the calm of the olive groves around Olympia, the gentle light filtering through marble columns. They were places where the human heart could touch the heavens through beauty and prayer. In the soft hum of ancient rituals, these sanctuaries offered a profound stillness, a resting place for the soul. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was one of the 7 wonders, designed as a resting place of enduring beauty. Its name now lingers in historical texts, reminding us of the quiet elegance of classical architecture. Breathe in the scent of old stone, the cool touch of carved reliefs. This tomb was a love letter to the deceased, sculpted into a timeless slumber. Its very name, softened by centuries, carries the echo of that gentle, eternal rest. It invites us to pause, to contemplate the peace that comes with letting go, wrapped in the warm embrace of memory. Ancient lists of wonders bloomed in the 2nd century before Christ. 8 full visions and 10 partial dreams, each a different window into a vanished world. The list we hold as sacred was woven in 1572 from the Octo Mundi Miracula, threads of history spun into tales of legendary stone and myth. The hanging gardens float in a serene mystery, scholars still debating their nature, some gently wondering if those cascading terraces of green ever existed beyond the realm of legend. Only one wonder graces our modern world, the Great Pyramid of Giza, oldest and most enduring, a silent sentinel standing through the centuries, a stone whisper from a time long turned to dust. Ancient lists whispered of the walls of Babylon and the palace of Cyrus, while the Pergamon altar rose again and again, a recurring favorite in the parchment scrolls of time. Across the warm and breathing canvas of the ancient East, the seven wonders were scattered like seeds of light, two nestled in the olive-scented hills of Greece, two standing sentinel along the wind-swept Anatolian shores of what we now call Turkey, two rising in splendor from the golden sands of Egypt, and one, a solitary marvel, rooted deep in the fertile crescent of ancient Iraq, as if placed there by a gentle and knowing hand. The lighthouse of Alexandria, that mighty finger of fire reaching out across the dark Mediterranean, and the temple of Artemis, a sacred grove of marble columns alive with the murmur of ancient prayers, have both slipped quietly beneath the tide of time, yet delicate fragments of their souls still linger, some resting in the very earth where they first drew breath, others preserved in the soft dim light of museums, like faded photographs of a half-remembered dream. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus rose from the hills of Caria as a stone poem to love and eternal rest, a breathtaking symphony of sculpted friezes and towering grace that once kissed the clouds, and even now, faint echoes of its magnificence remain, scattered softly around its original resting place, offering a quiet, tender window into the artistry and devotion of an age that has long since gone to sleep. The statue of Zeus at Olympia, a colossal figure draped in ivory and gold, seated in a temple of whispers and flickering torchlight, and the Colossus of Rhodes, a bronze god standing astride a harbor entrance with the sun catching his shoulders, were once the towering pride of human skill, and though they have dissolved into memory, they still rise above the horizon of our imagination, eternal symbols of the soaring ambitions that ancient civilizations held within their hearts. These seven wonders, a gentle constellation of human achievements scattered across the map of antiquity, come together not as a list of ruins, but as a collection of whispers, a quiet testimony to beauty, ambition, and the tender passage of time, evoking in us a timeless wonder and a profound sense of the peaceful, unending flow of history, like a soft river carrying starlight through the centuries. And now, our quiet journey through these ancient marvels comes to a gentle close. Your mind has wandered through sunlit ruins and moonlit shores, and it is time to let those images drift away like leaves on a slow, soothing current. If this peaceful voyage helped you find rest, a simple like would be a lovely way to let me know, and if you subscribe, I will be here waiting for you each night, with a new story to carry you into sleep. Tonight, we walked among wonders, but the greatest wonder of all is the quiet peace settling over you right now. Rest now, everything is exactly as it should be.